All right. Well, Ryan, thank you very much for your time. Really excited to hear this news as it's going to come out tomorrow for Supercross Global to expand and really get some momentum behind your guys' program as you head into the rest of 2022, your first year as the FIM World Supercross Championship promoter. Ryan, can you just give me and all of our listeners a little bit of a background on yourself and just what you have been doing to help SX Global get up on its feet?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. So I guess my background, Adam Bailey and I met back in 2012 and got into business in 2012. So we've been in business together since, so close to a decade. And we started doing OzX Open in 2015. So OzX Open was our first ever Supercross event together. We did that 2015 in Sydney very successfully to about 22,000 fans. So we had a sold out Saturday night and then a Sunday night event. So it started off 2015. We ran OzX Open in Sydney till 2018 before moving it to Melbourne, which we grew it every year. And actually in Melbourne, we had a 35,000 attended event in the OzX Open Melbourne event. And we had huge success with OzX Open, and then we expanded to Auckland, New Zealand. And we had two events, a sellout event in 2018 and then a very successful event in 2019. So in the 2018-2019 years, we actually got sanctioning by the FIM for Oceania. And we were always planning to try and expand into Asia and had, plans to look at Japanese events and other parts of Asia. So we were looking to get Asia Pacific sanctioning by the FIM. So obviously the pandemic hit. We haven't done events since 2019, and we've been watching very closely, obviously, the AMA Supercross. And when the rights came up in May last year, we moved really quickly on building a team, building an application and a formal approach, and submitted a formal global tender application with the FIM, and successfully won the World Championship rights for 22 and beyond, which is incredibly exciting. But just as exciting is the team. The global team of people we've built in this new business, SX Global, and also what we're going to announce, the financial strategic partner in Mubarak, is incredibly exciting. Mubarak Capital have got huge sporting experience globally, amazing network of relationships all around the world that we're really, really excited, and we believe positions us in a very unique opportunity to take Supercross global for the first time ever.
For the Motocross Action viewers, the guys, our magazine and digital presence has a worldwide audience, I should say. But a lot of our audience is here in the States. A lot of our audience is into racing themselves, but also into watching Supercross in America, the AMA Supercross Championship. And so can you just explain to me and to our viewers why they should be excited about a World Supercross Championship? And then kind of what the nuts and bolts of what you guys are doing, because there's information out there already, and you guys got an exciting announcement that's coming out tomorrow with this investor. But can you just give us your pitch? Why should we be excited about a World Supercross Championship when we have the American Supercross Championship already going on?
It's great questions. I think the reason why we should all be excited as fans, and first and foremost, Ryan and I are massive fans of the sport. You said, I grew up watching it and riding it, attempting to race it over the years, and we're fans first and foremost. So, what to be excited about is that our sport and Supercross that we love will become a global sport. And be seen in the realms of a Formula One and MotoGP. That's our goal. Whilst we completely appreciate and love the AMA Supercross Championship, I've been watching it my whole life pretty much. We believe the sport can be a global sport. We believe that, it deserves that. The athletes deserve that, and the teams deserve to be seen on that level. When you've got the likes of a Dan Ricciardo or a Marc Marquez or, Jack Miller looking up to Supercross riders, we feel like that's an indication that that's where they belong, and that's where they should sit on the global stage. So our challenge, our aspiration, and our dream really is to place them up there where we believe they deserve to be, and we want to take the fans on that journey. So again, we don't want to take away from the AMA Supercross. We think it's great, but come with us and let's try and take these guys around the world.
Yeah, I think from our side, Josh, what's really important is we've got a new business and a complete capacity now financially to go truly global. So to Adam's point, it's exciting for Supercross because we can now take it into the best stadia in all the major cities around the world. And we believe Supercross is a unique motorsport where it can actually be held in a venue that can have EPL soccer one week and then it can have Supercross the next, or it could be an NFL venue in the US and then it can have Supercross the next week. It can be held in rugby venues, it can be held in baseball stadiums. So it can virtually be held in any amazing stadia in any major city around the world. So we think that's very unique. To Adam's point, our goal is to create Supercross on a level like Formula One and like MotoGP globally. So what's beautiful about this opportunity is we can take it into these major cities where street circuits can't be built or MotoGP races can't be held, and we can take it to new audiences. We can combine it with music and entertainment. We can do incredible things with the sport. So to your point about where we're taking it, we want to be in every major continent around the world, and we want to target the biggest cities and some of the biggest regions where we think fans have got, passion towards action sports, passion towards motorsport. They may or may not have seen Supercross before, and they're going to be really excited by it. It's really exciting, to Adam's point, that we have the opportunity to do that, and we have a financial and strategic partner with Mubarak Capital enabling us to do that.
And Josh, I'd say as well, I think we all believe compared to those other sports, Supercross athletes are underpaid and underrated. I mean, the sport is massively underrated on a global sporting spectrum. It's massively underrated. The risks that they take is insane. Their fitness is absolutely incredible. They're supremely fit, aspirational athletes, amazingly talented, brave as all hell. They're underrated. So, and the only way that we can grow that sport and get them paid what they deserve to be paid and shown on is to put them on a global pedestal, and that's absolutely what we have to do.
You guys announced now that you have a huge investment firm jumping in behind you. So, and can you explain who else they're associated with currently, and then how that's going to help you guys succeed at this world stage?
Yeah, what I'll also hand over to Adam to speak a bit more specifically about the finances towards the team. So I'll just touch on that top line, but it enables, as an example, for us to offer $50 million in payments in appearance fees, sign-on fees, and also covering all of the logistics and freights for the next 5 years for all teams entered in the championship. So top line obviously gives us a financial capital to really, have a massive crack at this and do this for many years to come. So it gives us financial stability, financial security, which is really important. They're also an incredible strategic partner because of their connections and relationships. So Mubarak Capital invested in IMG Endeavour, so one of the largest shareholders of Endeavour. They're also one of the largest shareholders of Thrill One, which you would know from Nitro Circus and Nitro Rallycross. They own the Abu Dhabi and the Brazilian Formula One Grand Prix events. As you say, they're a large shareholder of New York Yankees and the Yes Network. They're also very successfully, behind Manchester City, and obviously the stadium Manchester City plays in, the whole City Group soccer success has been tremendous. They were originally involved in the UFC and in its inception. So they've got a huge vision for what this sport can be, what we can achieve with this sport, sorry. So they get it. They've invested in sports and entertainment a lot. They understand, globally what's required, and they're really heavily invested in some of these major sporting properties around the world, which is really exciting because you don't just want financial capital and no understanding and no relationships, obviously globally, of how to bring it to life. They get what we need to do to take this sport to the new levels. And then we've got a tremendous new model for the teams, which I'll get Adam to talk to, but it's a complete revolutionary approach for Supercross. It's certainly, not new in motorsport. It's been done very successfully with the NASCAR and their charter system, but also Tony Cochran, our president, had huge success with the V8 supercars with an approach like this, where he grew the sport from a $55,000 purchase to a $310 million business. So Adam and our team has worked very, very hard on developing a system that we're calling the Supercross Teams Entitlements Agreements, and only 10 team licenses. So Adam, maybe touch on that, what that means for the sport as well.
Ryan, you mentioned 50 million, and it's also in the press release as well, like 50 million over the next 5 years. So that 50 million, is that directly towards, team development over the 5 years, or what is the 50 million doing? And can you just explain a little bit more about that? And like, is that what Mubadala is doing? Is that their investment, that 50 million?
It's to be clear, we're not specifying their total investment, but it's just an example of the capital investment that we have. So we've obviously established that the support, to Adam's point, just in appearance fees and signing fees for these first 3 years for the teams, and then all the freight logistics costs for the next 5 years, all of that combined exceeds 50 million. So that's just one example of how much we're investing in the sport, and how much financial capital obviously we have to invest in this, which is really exciting. So that doesn't include prize money that Adam touched on, and does include so much other investments that we're making. But it's just highlighting for us, how serious this is, and obviously that we're here to stay. We're here for many years to come. We're treating this as a 10 plus 10 year venture that we have in place here, and we're really excited for the future, and we're not going anywhere.
And who is the target rider that you guys are looking for, and the target team? Because I'm understanding it that the first year, this year, 2022, we'll have the 17-round AMA Supercross Championship, then we'll have the whole outdoor series, and then you guys are planning on having a year championship at the end of the year, last few months, in that little off-season break. So who are you looking to get this year? And then talks about starting in July. Well, that's in the middle of the outdoor championship in 2023, as long as the schedule doesn't change. So who's the target audience, target rider and team that you're looking for? Are you guys calling the GPs, the GP riders and the GP teams more? Or are you calling the American Supercross guys more? And who are you pulling in for this?
The answer is a combination, Josh. We want riders from all around the world. I think it's riders that want to focus on Supercross. That's first and foremost, riders and teams. The thing about the model as well is that the teams that compete may not exist yet, and they can be teams created specifically for this championship, but they could be a subsidiary of an existing team that's created specifically for this championship, or it could be a completely new venture, like Ryan touched on before, owned by a celebrity or a sports person from Mexico, for example. We've had interest that might want to be a team owner because they think Supercross is an amazing opportunity, and they want to own a team. And the way those can work is very different than what's been done before, because they may still get technical support and their bikes out of the US, and the riders may be US based, or they may not be. But because of the nimble kind of flyaway nature of what we're creating, where we'll be shipping the bikes from all around the world, to each round, everything just needs to pack into boxes and travel like a MotoGP event does when it goes to international events. So it really opens the door, and particularly when we're offering so much financial support, it really opens the doors to what a team actually could look like, and what a season could look like for a team. Because again, it's not to say the team even exists. It could be a team that's owned by a brand, and that brand not a motorcycle manufacturer brand. I mean, it could be an energy drink, or it could be an apparel brand, or it could be someone else that owns a team and decides, hey, I'm going to take this financial support and I'm going to use it to go get my 4 riders, and I'm going to get equipment and bikes out of X, Y, and Z team that already exists, and I'm going to pull this thing together, and I'm going to go win the world championship.
Exciting stuff. So if I'm a team, or if I'm a, Josh Mosman wanting to start a team to do the championship, and I want to be one of those 10 team owners, and I contact you guys, what are the steps that I need to take? What do I need to do to become a team owner? And, is this something to where you guys are going to take in applications and decide, okay, well, Mitch Payton, he's allowed to have a team, and Bobby Reagan, he's allowed to have a team, and KTM, they're allowed to have a team? Or are you going to take the first offer you get from a guy like me who's willing to pay the money? That's one question. And then the second question is like, what you guys are offering a lot of incentive for people that sign up to become a team, paying for a lot of fees and stuff like that. So what do I have to do if I come to you and say, hey, I want to be a part of it? What's the next step?
Well, that's it. The interesting part about it, Josh, is that we pay the money to whoever wants to come on board. So it's kind of reverse. They don't have to come up and pay us anything. There's a very small commitment prior to the first round so that we make sure they show up. And exactly to your point, it will go to a board decision. We will have to narrow it down. The interest that we've got already is really strong. So there will be tough choices to make, but as a board, we'll have to make those decisions. Because they're commercial decisions. It won't be just Ryan and I picking who our buddies are and who we want to see out there. It'll be carefully picked, and it's not just. It's a combination of who the riders are that they are going to put forward, their experience as a global or an international Supercross team, but also it's important for us to have a good international spread. Again, so we're not just looking for all American teams. We want to have teams out of other regions in the world, or that are committing to bringing on riders from other regions of the world to help them develop too. So there's quite a bit of strategy involved in who those teams will be. So we'll create a box, for lack of a better word, that gets created and sent to each of the teams for them to box up all their equipment. And we'll literally door-to-door service kind of thing, send them a box to freight the stuff, and they load it up with their bikes and equipment, and then we take it around the world. And they get an initial signing fee to help with really the extension of contracts for this year, for example, because mechanics, riders, etc., may already be in a contract that doesn't include this. So therefore, hey, here's a big chunk of money to assist with that. For the brand new teams, it's to help them get set up with infrastructure and things that they may not exist for them. But we're purposely very light on requirement for infrastructure. They won't need semis, obviously. We'll take control of the pit paddock infrastructure at every event, so they don't need all of that kind of stuff. So to your point, the actual investment and what they have to worry about is quite low, other than we want to make sure that obviously the reason we've purposely done it that way is so the focus is on the rider and they get the best riders. So for a team, the biggest challenge will be securing the best riders. We don't feel like there's a challenge we feel like there's a number of riders at the very top that want to do this. But the challenge is for the teams when there's existing contracts in place. They've already committed to doing, AMA Supercross, then outdoors. How do we throw this extra 5 events at them? What does that look like? And that's where that big financial support for us up front is to try and say, we realize that. We realize it's a tight time frame. We realize that you've already got these commitments. Here's a big chunk of money to try and get you off the ground, and then we should be rolling a bit more smoothly from next year onwards.
All right, guys. So that was just a preview of the full interview that I did with Ryan Sanderson and Adam Bailey. You can check out the full interview on our website, motocrossactionmag.com. It's a written interview, or you can check out our podcast, Motocross Action, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts at. We have the full 1-hour interview there. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. If you like it, click the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions about what's going on with the FIM World Supercross Championship, leave it in the comments below. We'll try to answer it if we have those answers. And check out motocrossactionmag.com for that full press release, talking more in-depth details about what's going on. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video.